Alright, what's going on, guys? So Konami just released a brand new format called Genesys format, and basically, if you don't know, there's no ban list, there's no lake monsters, there's no pendulum monsters, and the way it works is there's a list of cards that have points to them, and your deck cannot exceed 100 points total. I think I've cooked up probably the best Genesys deck that'll ever happen, and I genuinely think that this deck will get hit. We got Red Dragon Archfiend. And dude, we're running 3 Pot of Greed in the deck. It's absolutely busted, and I'm just gonna get right into it. So we'll do a deck profile, and then I'll show you a 1-card combo. And then if you want to see the deck in action at an actual Genesys tournament, let me know in the comments below. I'm actually down to start a series on that. So let's get right into the deck profile. Alright guys, so now I'm gonna start with the deck profile. This is a 100-point deck. So let's start with the main deck. We'll start with the 1-card combos. Triple Soul Resonator, triple Crimson Gaia, triple Resonator Call. So these are all of your 1-card combos. They basically all search your deck for any one of your Resonators, and the cool thing about Crimson Gaia is it actually does a lot more. Not only does it search your deck for a Resonator, but it could search your deck for any Red Dragon Archfiend card, and also it could pop a whole bunch of things. It can special summon Red Dragon Archfiend from your graveyard. It does a lot. So Crimson Gaia is probably the best card in the deck, if I'm being completely honest with you. And then for a 1.5 or I guess 2-card combo, Resonator Command, this can also search your deck for any Fiend level 4 or lower. But the cool thing is you actually discard a card, right? And typically the card that you want to discard is going to be your Vision Resonator, because when Vision Resonator is sent to grave, it can search your deck for a Red Dragon Archfiend spell trap. So usually it'll be Crimson Gaia. That's kind of like the main thing you want to do with Resonator Command. So for your other Resonators, I'm just on triple Crimson Resonator and double Synkron Resonator. Crimson Resonator could summon itself if you control no monsters, and it could special summon 2 Resonators from the deck if you control a Synchro monster. So this card is just really busted in my opinion, and the reason I'm running 3 is because we're actually on triple copies of the Wandering King Wildwind, which I'll get into in just a second. But Synkron Resonator is a nice extender because if you control a Synchro, you could special it, and when it hits the graveyard, you could just add back one of your Resonators from your graveyard. We got triple copies of Wandering King Wildwind, triple copies of Bone Archfiend, and then the 1 copy of Red Lotus King Flame Crime. So these are your extenders. Wandering King Wildwind can special summon itself if you control basically a Resonator. Bone Archfiend can special summon itself from hand or grave by either discarding a card from hand or sending a card from hand to grave. And then Red Lotus King Flame Crime can special summon itself if you control a Fiend Tuner, and then when it hits the grave, you dump a trap. And the main trap you're going to be dumping is one of your 3 copies of Red Rain. When this thing is in the graveyard and you special summon a Dark Synchro, you can actually add back Red Rain from your graveyard. Basically what it does is it banishes all other monsters on the field, making your monster on the field unaffected by card effects except its own. And then the fact that it can bring itself back from the graveyard if you Synchro summon, absolutely busted. I think this card, one of the better cards in the deck for sure. For some other Red Dragon Archfiend stuff, I'm on the double Fiendish Golem, just because sometimes you don't always want to search out the red zone because you might have the red zone or you might not be able to do anything with the red zone. So instead, you might want to just search out Fiendish Golem with your Vision Resonator or your Crimson Gaia. Fiendish Golem can banish a monster with 2k or more attack on the field until the end phase, and then if you control Red Dragon Archfiend, you can actually set your Fiendish Chain from deck, which can basically just negate an opponent's monster. And then you have the 1 red zone. This thing lets you banish your opponent's field twice with your main boss monster, Red Supernova Dragon. As a quick effect, you could just target a card on the field and pop it as long as you control Red Dragon Archfiend. Guys, to round off the main deck, we're actually at triple copies of Pot of Greed and then triple copies of Upstart Goblin, just so that we can maximize consistency here. This deck just wants to play through interruptions. Pot of Greed is at 30 points per copy here, right? So right here, the deck hits 90 points with just 3 copies of Pot of Greed. I think being able to play Pot of Greed is absolutely amazing. I think that's super sick, especially at 3 copies. Like, who would have thought in 2025 that this is something that you can do? So for the extra deck, guys, we are on triple Red Rising Dragon to respawn a Resonator from grave, and it's not a hard once per turn at all, so you could special summon multiple copies and just use its effect a lot of times in a turn. Double copies of Scarred. When this thing hits the graveyard, it'll special summon one of your 2 copies of Red Dragon Archfiend directly from your extra deck. But if it's sent to grave as Synchro material, it'll special summon Red Dragon Archfiend and then destroy all monsters your opponent controls that are in attack position. So this deck actually by itself can go second with Engine and Break boards, which is super sick. And then on double copies of Starlight Red Dragon Archfiend, just to pop a whole bunch of monsters and just deal some burn damage, which is sick. You can probably close out games with Starlight Red Dragon Archfiend alone. Then on the 1 Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss, just to be my nice Omni negate, then 1 Bystial Dis Pater. So this is worth 10 points, and this is what makes your deck 100 points total, right? So 3 Pot of Greeds, 90 points, and then the 1 Dis Pater for 10. Dis Pater lets you respawn a banished monster, and because of cards like Red Rain, the trap card here, we do tend to banish things quite a bit, right? So there's a lot of cool stuff you can do. Like you could respawn one of your banished Dark Synchros, which is sick. It could either pop a card or it can negate a monster. So Bystial Dis Pater is a no-brainer. And then for the other level 10 Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Bane, this thing can help you just bring out an extra copy of Red Dragon Archfiend by tributing a card, which is super sick. And then on the 1 Red Nova Dragon and the 1 Red Supernova Dragon. So these are kind of like your towers, right? So they gain 500 attack for each tuner in your graveyard. But on top of that, they cannot be destroyed by card effects, and this thing can negate a attack. This thing can either negate attack, or when your opponent activates a monster effect, it can banish itself and then just banish your opponent's entire field, which is super sick. It's your main boss monster. And the cool thing is that even though it's your best card and your best boss monster, you actually don't need to make it all the time to win games, which is super sick. And then I'm on the 1 Kuibelt just because on summon, it can pop any card on the field. And the reason why that's good is because paired with a card like Crimson Gaia, which says when a card is destroyed, you could respawn Red Dragon Archfiend from grave. There's just a whole lot of cool interactions that you can do with this deck in general. So that's it for the deck, guys. Let me show you the combo. Okay guys, so now I'm going to show you the cool 1-card combo that you can do with Soul Resonator. You can do this with your other 1-card starters, but just for the sake of the video, I'll just show you what you can do with Soul Resonator. So you're going to go normal summon Resonator, effect to search out your Bone Archfiend. You're then going to go Bone Archfiend, effect to discard any card in your hand, so let's just pretend this is just like a random card. Special summon itself. You're then going to go Bone Archfiend effect, target Soul Resonator, decrease its level by 1, and then dump your Crimson Resonator from your deck to your grave. Next up, you guys, we're going to Synchro Summon into Red Rising Dragon, and on summon, Red Rising Dragon is going to respawn your Crimson Resonator. Then you're going to go Crimson Resonator effect, special summon 2 other Resonators from your deck. We're going to special summon out Vision, and then we're going to special summon out Synkron. We're then going to use Red Rising and Vision to make Scarred, and on summon, Vision is going to trigger to add a Red Dragon Archfiend spell trap from your deck. And typically here, what we're going to do is we're just going to search out the Crimson Gaia. So we're just going to keep this in our hand for now. Next up, guys, we're going to use Scarred and Crimson to make Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Bane. And on summon a Bane, Scarred is going to trigger to special summon OG Red Dragon Archfiend from your extra deck. Next up, you're going to go ahead use these two to make one of your boss monsters the Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss. And then on summon, your Synkron Resonator is going to chain to add back a monster from your grave to your hand. And typically here, I like to add back the Vision because you could still special summon it. Next up, you're going to go effect 2 special summon Vision. You're going to go Bane, effect tribute Vision, respawn Scarred. Then you're going to go ahead, activate Crimson Gaia, effect to search. And I typically like to search out the red zone here. And then that's it for the 1-card combo. There's different ways that you can go about this 1-card combo, but this is the one that'll let you end on a pop because Red Zone says you can pop a card. And you have the Omni Negate in the form of Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss. When something is popped, you can just respawn Red Dragon OG, and you're genuinely chilling. And then on the next turn, you could just OTK with these cards on board. But yeah, guys, that's going to be it for the combo. Alright guys, so that's going to be it for today's deck profile and combo guide. If you want to know other combos, let me know in the comments below. I can make a follow-up to this video. If you want to see this deck in action, or you want to see a whole Genesys format like series, I'm super down. With the release of Genesys format, guys, I think this is super sick. I mean, I think it's honestly super sick that I could just play 3 copies of this piece of shit card, Pot of Greed. I think that's like toxic. And yeah, I'm pretty excited to bring you guys some Genesys format Yu-Gi-Oh content, guys. This is going to be sick. It's going to be sick.